So if I ask you, what is the z-value that represents the 90th percentile? Remember, probability equals percent of the curve equals percentiles when we're talking about values to the left of the z-score. So we go to our chart and we attempt to find 90%. As I look at those, I see that I don't really have 90. I have 8997 and 9015. Both are close, but 9015 is 15 away. And 8997 is 3 below. The 3 below is much closer. That's the one we'll go with. So we finish tracing that up to find our z-score. So our z-score, according to the chart, for the 90th percentile is 1.28. 1.28 standard deviations from the mean gives you 90% of the curve behind it. So what z-value? Again, finding the z-value for the 75th percentile. Go to the chart. Trace that up, and our z-score will be positive 0.67. Positive 0.67 means 0.67 standard deviations from the mean. We know it's going to be above the mean because it's more than half. So it would be somewhere right about there, if that's your first standard deviation. 75% of the curve is behind that z-score. So now let's think of a slightly different way. You're given different information here about the body temperature of adults that's normally distributed, meaning bell curve, with a mean of 98.6 and a standard deviation of 0.73. In this instance, I'm asking you what temperature represents the 90th percentile. Here we're going to have to go back to our z-score formula and solve using a little algebra. The z-score formula says z equals x minus mu, mu being the mean, divided by the standard deviation. In this instance, I happen to know that x minus mu would represent something I don't know, minus mu of 98.6, and divide that by the standard deviation of 0.73. What I have to also know in order to finish this problem is what goes right here for z. This number will come from the chart. Now we probably can already remember that 90th percentile came from a z-score of 1.28 because 0.8997 was as close as we could get. So go back to the problem, fill in the red circle with 1.28. Because this is a fraction and it equals something, I can put that over 1 and do a little cross multiplication. This means I'm going to take 1.28 and multiply it by 0.73. That's going to equal the product of x minus 98.6 times 1. Since anything times 1 is itself, we can go ahead and solve this. Grab my calculator to find that 1.28 times 0.73 is 0.9344. This equals x minus 98.6, and if you remember from algebra class, to solve for x, we're going to add 98.6 to both sides of our equation. Again, get my calculator back out. 0.9344 plus 98.6. What does that equal? Our final answer. 99.5 equals x. This means that the average body temperature for adults is 98.6. And that's all well and good, but not everybody is that. So if you're in the 90th percentile, what's your body temperature? Body temperature would be 99.5.